And while the terrorists are looking for civilians to kill, for teenagers in the line to a discotheque in Tel Aviv, restaurants in Jerusalem and Haifa, in their beds, schools and kindergarten, the soldiers are looking for terrorists to kill, while unfortunately, we can see these mistakes happening during fight, and civilians are being killed. And I'm not asking the international community to turn a blind eye when Israel is acting against terror. But I wish the I ask the international community to apply the same values that are in any legal system, in any democracy. Because part of the possibility to achieve peace, and I'm going to speak about that as well, is the understanding of the people that we are going to take risks for peace. And I believe that we need to do so. But I would like to address my people and to say we are taking risks, but if needed, we can act against terror with the support of the international community, not while being criticized by the international community. The same countries that are fighting against terror in different parts of the world. We need to understand this is the same fight, the same struggle with the same values that we all share. But as I said, it's not enough to work just on one side of the equation. And I was speaking until now about the need to act against terror, but I chose to speak today not only about fighting against terror, but also fighting for peace. And I believe that the basic Israel of interest is to achieve peace with the Palestinians according to the idea of two nation states. Israel was created 62 years ago as homeland for the Jewish people and the democracy. I believe in these two basic values of Israel as Jewish and democratic state. My parents came to Israel in 1925 before the creation of the State of Israel. They fought in order to create a state that we can live and have these two values living in harmony and not in contradiction. And in order to do so, we, and I represent here the Israeli interest, not the Palestinian one. But in order to do so, we need a Jewish majority, and the meaning is that we need to divide the land between Jordan River and Mediterranean Sea into two different states, that each state gives the answer to the national aspiration of its own people. Israel, the national aspiration of the Jewish people, and the Palestinian state for the national aspiration of the Palestinians. Now, it's not zero-sum game. Not all the decisions are zero-sum game. When I spoke before about Hamas and Fatah, it is a zero-sum game between the two of them. Because when Hamas is getting stronger, Mahmoud Abbas and the legitimate Palestinian government is getting more weak. But when it comes to decisions in order to end the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians, the idea of two nation states is a mutual interest of Israel, the Palestinians, the United States of America, and the entire international community. It's not a favor to the Palestinians, not to the Arab world, and not even to the President of the United States of America. It's about us. This is what I say also to the Israelis. And you know what? Most of the Israelis support not only the vague vision of two nation states, but basically they know what is the price, plus minus, that need to be paid in order to end the conflict. And most of them support this, more than Kadima voters. And Kadima is the biggest party in the parliament. But the problem is that some of them gave up. Some of them think that it's not feasible. Some of them think that there is no partner on the other side. Some of them think that the partner on the other side is too weak to deliver. And the situation on the ground is problematic. And I cannot just share with you visions and dreams without looking at the situation on the ground. But since I believe that we cannot give up this hope and this vision, the right thing to do is to continue the talks between Israel and the Palestinians in accordance to the understanding that we had in the Annapolis process. We need to reach an agreement with the moderates or with the legitimate Palestinian government, a peace treaty that gives an answer to all the open issues between Israel and the Palestinians, and I believe that the only way to end the conflict is to give an answer to all the core issues and not to postpone the issues because it's too difficult for leaders to decide. Postponing issues to the future led to frustration and to violence in the past. So we need to give an answer, and I believe that when we have this kind of package, we are going to get the support in Israel and hopefully also on the Palestinian side. The role of the Arab world is crucial, because it is true that the Palestinian leadership sometimes is too weak, but they need the support of the Arab world to sign an agreement. And since I believe that most part of the Arab world understand that Iran is the threat and not Israel anymore, and an open conflict is being abused by the Iranians, this is the reason why they are going to support, hopefully, the Palestinians in order to end the conflict. The basics are the understanding that in order to end the conflict, we need to translate the idea of two nation states, that the meaning is that as Israel gave refuge to Jews who needed to leave Europe after the Holocaust, to Jews who needed to leave Arab states after the creation of the State of Israel, so does the Palestinian state. By definition, by its own creation, it gives an answer to the national aspiration of the entire Palestinian people, those who live in the territories, in Gaza Strip and West Bank, and those who live in refugee camps, waiting for something that is not in accordance with what they call right of return or demand of return or something, which is not in accordance to the vision of two nation states. And when I said that it's not everything is zero-sum game, I believe that Israel's security is not an Israeli interest, which is an anti-Palestinian interest. Because I don't think that our partners on the Palestinian side want Hamas to control the future Palestinian state. It's against their own interest as well. And I believe that the United States and the international community, they don't want to have another terror state or failed state. We have enough of those in the region. So we can work together in order to have the support of the United States and the international community and the Arab world and the Palestinians in having the conditions that can apply and can give an answer to the need of Israel to security. In the negotiations, we decided that at first we are going to sign an agreement with those that are willing to do so in accordance to their own interest and our interest. And then the implementation will be postponed until a moment in which the situation on the ground will change and a moment in which Hamas also need to choose whether they continue in working against Israel and against the other, completely different choice, and adapting or accepting or living with of an agreement the government signed.